In this video, we'll show you our top 14 quick tips for nailing your personal training interview, including how to prepare, what to wear, how to build rapport, and advice on how to answer questions. I'm Luke Hughes, Sales and Marketing Director for OriGym, the UK's largest fitness education company that certifies thousands of personal trainers each year, both here in the UK and internationally. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to get more personal training career tips and drop the video a like, as it really helps us produce more videos like this one. I have viewed thousands upon thousands of personal training CVs and conducted well over 1,000 interviews. Over my 16 years of operating in the fitness sector, I'm going to show you my top 14 tips to landing your ideal role. Let's jump straight in. Tip 1. How you speak on the phone matters. The interview process starts well before you're actually at an interview. After an employer sifts through CVs, the next step is usually to call the shortlisted candidates. Having a positive telephone manner matters and is all part of the interview process. I genuinely look forward to interviews with people who know where I'm calling from, are friendly and positive in their tone. I don't look forward to, and sometimes even change my mind on, offering interviews to those that seem like they've just woken up, are abrupt on the phone, arrogant, or don't recall applying for the position. Tip 2. Wear appropriate attire. This is a question we get asked a lot. What should I wear to a personal training interview? You should default to wearing a suit, but also prepare a bag with gym attire unless it is stated that there is a practical aspect of the interview. Don't be afraid also to ask if there is a practical component to the interview, as hiring managers are used to this question, and secondly, it shows you are genuinely interested in the role. As you would expect, regardless of what you wear, it should be clean, ironed, and overall, you should be well presented. Tip 3. Research the company. When preparing for a personal trainer interview, never attend without researching the company prior. This includes reviewing their goals and mission status, normally found on the Company's About Us page. You should also check to see how their PT model works, the company's membership prices, social profiles, and understand who their target demographic is. Knowing this information helps you answer the question, what do you know about us? Or what research have you done prior to coming today? Plus, it's actually beneficial to you to know, as it might not be the right role that you want to pursue. If you really want the role at a particular club, do a mystery shop and a SWOT analysis of the gym. This would really impress any interviewer. If you're not sure how to do this, we've placed a link in the description of this video for exactly how you can go about this. What an interviewer doesn't want to hear is, I've not really done any research, or I'm not sure what you really do. These interviews will almost definitely be cut short. Tip 4. Be pleasant to all staff and wait patiently. When you arrive for your PT interview, you might be greeted by either a receptionist, another trainer, or a manager. It is important to be polite and courteous to all staff members, not just the person who is interviewing you. Other staff members often tell the interviewer if someone has been overly nice or appeared rude and abrupt when informing them that you're waiting, which can either help or hinder your application. In fact, I almost always ask whoever notifies me that an interviewee is waiting, what is their demeanour like, as how they blend in with the team is equally as important of what their credentials are. When waiting for the interviewer, do not get out your phone. Just sit there patiently until you're escorted to the interview room. Tip 5. Keep positive body language. Don't lean back or slump in your chair. Sit up straight and show that you engage with the interviewer. Try to smile and keep a positive attitude and demeanour throughout. Positivity is infectious and makes the interviewer feel more positive, as well as showing that you are personable and likable. Tip 6. Build rapport and show off your personality. At the start of the interview, you normally get the opportunity to build rapport and show off your personality, especially if you ask you questions like, "Tell me about yourself," or "What do you get up to in your spare time?" This is the time where you need to demonstrate the depth to your personality and that you're someone they really want to work with. This includes providing details about your hobbies and passions, both in the gym and away from it. Sometimes you might find you have commonalities with the interviewer, and don't be afraid to ask them about their passions too, especially if they show an interest in yours.
Wait a minute, have you still not qualified as a PT? Check out this cool video we got right here.
Become a personal trainer with the UK's leading training provider. Over 50,000 trainers qualified. Study how suits you best, whether online, part-time or full-time. Internationally recognized SIMSPA endorsed training. Turn your hobby into your career. Whether you want to work in a gym, become an online trainer, freelance from people's homes, or use the great outdoors. Visit OriGymPersonalTrainerCourses.co.uk and shape your future the way you want it.
Tip 7. Ask questions to be rephrased if you need to. If you struggle to hear or understand a question, don't be afraid to ask for a question to be repeated or be rephrased. This won't be held against you. Tip 8. Let the interviewer finish their question and talk slowly. Always let the interviewer finish their question in its entirety before you jump in and start answering it. Take a moment before answering each question to digest the question and compose your answer. This is particularly important if you're naturally a fast talker. You need to actively slow down the rate you speak and try to mirror the speed of the interviewer. Tip 9. Be concise with your answers. Some people seem to get the word concise confused with the word short. They are not the same thing. Concise answers are to the point. They are specific and direct to the question at hand without going off on a tangent. They provide relevant detail, insight, and can be backed up with specific examples. Short answers are answers with just 1 or 2 sentences that offer little to no value to the question. Tip 10. Research commonly asked questions. You should always do your due diligence and research commonly asked questions so you know what might be asked by the interviewer. By preempting for common questions, you will naturally feel less anxious, more prepared, and more confident. Here are some common questions that always come up in personal training interviews in one format or another. What are your long-term career goals? Tell me how you would build rapport with a client. How would you grow your client base? How would you keep clients retained? Why did you become a personal trainer? For more questions like these, and most importantly, how to answer them, go and check out our blog article in the description of this video. 27 personal trainer interview questions and answers. Tip 11. Use examples and practice your answers. When answering interview questions, you should always try and harness examples to iterate your points. This provides validity to your answers and allows the interviewer to visualize how you would approach certain situations. Check out this question, for example. How would you deal with a dissatisfied client? Example answer: I would actively listen to them and be sympathetic and understanding of their issue. Once I'd identified what their issue is, I would reassure them that this issue is in hand and that it's top of my priority list. I would then give them a prompt solution with a date of when that would be. A good example of this would be when I dealt with the odd customer complaint in my last role as a sales assistant at Sports Direct, and I found really letting the customer express their feelings first and giving them an amicable solution with a set deadline worked well to helping resolve the situation. For instance, a guy came in who had bought a football shirt, but the shirt had frayed after just one wash and he wanted a full refund. After listening to him and empathizing with his situation, I calmly explained to him that I would get him a brand new football shirt, but lightly advised him to stick the washing instructions on the label, just to make sure it didn't fray again. This left the customer satisfied as he got a new shirt, but also prevented the refund of the shirt to the business. See how this example answers the question correctly, then shows the interviewer that I have experience in dealing with this type of situation. Like anything, practice makes perfect, so try and practice your answers using friends, family members, or a mirror if needed. Tip 12, turning negative questions into positive answers. Sometimes interview questions are phrased as negative questions. See here some examples. Tell me your biggest weakness and why it's your biggest weakness. Give me a time when you underperformed at work and how that affected you. Have you ever fell out with a work colleague and why? These style questions can seem uncomfortable to answer, as you don't want to say nothing or highlight an obvious flaw that you have in your character or skill set. Let us show you how you can handle this type of question using the first example. Tell me your biggest weakness and why is it your biggest weakness? Now the key to these types of questions is to shed some honesty, but to also show how you're tackling the issue. For example, I would probably say my sales skills could do with some work, as it's not something I've actually done before. However, it is something I'm very aware of, and I've actually enrolled onto a free sales course via Udemy.com, and I feel I've already learned a lot and would relish putting these newfound skills into practice. Additionally, I'm really keen to undertake any sales training that you provide and willing to shadow a more experienced trainer to really optimize my sales knowledge. See how I'm acknowledging the weakness, then showing the interviewer how I'm overcoming it. Try to avoid saying phrases like, I don't delegate enough, I can work too hard, or I take on too much responsibility at times. These are cliche, cop-out answers. If an interviewer hears that, they might say, that's great, now tell me a real weakness. Remember, we all have weaknesses, it's just how we deal with them. Tip 13, ask questions. Interviewers expect you to ask questions at the interview. It would actually be weird if you didn't. The interview process is a two-way street, and if you're unsure on what questions to ask, here are a few things you definitely should be aware of before you leave your interview. How does the PT model work here? What training will you provide me when I first start? What does a typical day look like? What are the shift patterns? How many personal trainers currently work here? And how many people are you hiring for the role? To name just a few. Just wait until the end of the interview or when prompted to ask these questions. Having them written down on a notepad is perfectly acceptable. Tip 14, be truthful. Lastly, you should be honest and truthful in your answers without being overly truthful in the right areas. For example, if they ask you to tell them about yourself, you might want to leave out that you get drunk every Friday night at the pub. But do be aware that an experienced interviewer can see straight through exaggerations and lies. Honesty is always the best policy. On that note, that wraps it up for this video on our 14 tips for a personal training interview. Make sure to give this video a like if you found it helpful. Subscribe for more personal training career tips, and click the bell icon to get notified every time we post a video. Let me know which tip in the comment section below that you found most useful. Also, if you want more information on our advanced level 4 courses for personal trainers, feel free to download our free course prospectus in the first comment of this video. My name's Luke Hughes from OriGym. Thanks for watching.